Good evening, YouTube world. I'm your host, Paul Italia. Welcome to the Arm Wrestling Buzz episode 68. We got the Arm Wrestling Buzz crew in the house. We got my man Israel Chavez, Matt Hollywood Conley, and tonight's special guest, we got big time promoter LeRae Jenkins, and we got his young protege, 19 years old, Landen Anderson in the house. Hell yeah. So what's
Welcome to
up,
the show.
welcome everybody. So I want to first start off, LeRae. I know you've been doing a lot of big things for the arm wrestling world. I mean, you've been doing them for a long time, but just recently you've been throwing these amazing round robins. And I know recently there was a little issue or something happened with you and your partner in it. So I kind of wanted just to get to the bottom of that. Wanted to find out like what was going on. Can we still expect the round robins? I know you also throw other events, but really want to hear what's going on in with the round robins.
Just to touch on me and my partner, just some personal disagreements, it kind of got out of hand on social media. It was kind of portrayed a little bit, you know, I kind of have some regrets about it, to be honest with you. Um, there's no beef between me and him. We're cool. I still look at him as family, things go on. He's going to continue to do beast mode. He's going to continue to do the round robins. Um, I just I'm going to step back a little bit. We held a lot of tournaments this year, and I have a 5-year old and a 7-year old, and I gotta be dad a little bit more this coming year. Um,
Hold on, man. We got to back up a little.
yeah,
I look at the round robins as you are the face of the round robins. I didn't even really know there was another guy, before this whole incident happened and all. So
yeah.
how's that all going to work out, man? You were kind of guy with the, lighting the fire under these.
Well, I mean, I'll still if I need to be, you know, uh, if I need to help put something together, I'm okay with doing that. I'm definitely okay with doing that. As far as Chris, he was a new promoter. He approached us to come on board and kind of help him build that brand, and I feel like we were successful in doing that. And yeah, I mean, I know people think of me as the owner. It was my idea, but I'm okay with where it's at. It's a well-known event. Everybody knows about them. And the ultimate goal was to get the best together in pool. It was never really about recognition for me. I don't really care about that. I just want to see the best arm wrestle, whether it's at my events or someone else's events. So if that concept can be put out there and someone can carry it on, I'm happy about that.
Well, I'm not really happy to hear that, bro, because those round robins were really just taking off. You guys really had your niche and everything, and I looked at you as kind of like Dana White of the whole organization over there, and kind of putting everything into action. And I just hope that we could continue with these round robins, and I hope maybe you guys could work things out and come to some sort of agreement, because I feel like arm wrestling is going to take the hit if not.
Yeah,
So
man. And I will say I'm staying on board until the end of the year. So anything can happen, man. We may get to the end of the year and be like, hey, man, we can't quit this. We got to keep going. I hope I hope that that's able to happen, but we'll see. It's just my kids are at a certain age. They want to play sports. It's hard for me to be able to just say, hey, man, yeah, I can give you, you know, you as a promoter, Paul, you know how much time it takes, doing an event. We got an event in December that we're doing, and I've literally planned it the entire year, and I get off work, I come home, and I jump straight into promoting. And, sometimes my son's tugging on my shirt, hey, daddy, let's go outside and play. And I'm like, yeah, I got to do this. And it's just, it's not going to stop, you know. Plus, another thing is, I'm ranked top 20. Kind of want to push myself up the ladder a little bit more, and it's hard to do as a promoter.
Yeah, I understand. Promotions kind of like takes over your life, and like I always say, arm wrestling is a marathon, not a sprint. So, sometimes you're going to be in more than others. So I can respect that, brother. I just hoping for the arm wrestling community that we could still keep those round robins because I always look forward to those. Those were amazing to me, and what you guys built over there, that was next level, and I know the community definitely agrees with that.
I appreciate to hear that. Yeah, and I hope we can continue them. I believe they will. I believe they'll continue.
I want to shout out everybody in the chat. We got Nathan Middlebrooks in the house. We got our man Benji Mack, Dean Future, Sean Moore, Tall Paul, Chris, Lucky Ones. What's up, everybody? Really appreciate you guys tuning in. Um, who else? We got Drew 24. We got all the regulars. Oh, the 98% is in the house. We got Pro Gear Arm Wrestling, Mikey Olivia over there doing big things. We're going to be talking about a couple of events they got coming up. Josh Holden, how you doing? Mark, what's up, guys? So yeah, we got a good show planned for today. We're gonna learn all about this young phenom, Landen Anderson. He's doing big things. There was a little controversy recently, and kind of a call out and all. We're gonna definitely dive deeper into that. Looking forward to hearing from you on that. So before we kick it off and start talking to Landon, just want to mention some great events we got coming up, and one being this weekend, this Saturday at 2 p.m. Central Time. Flash Pin Productions is throwing a big production event. It's got some great super matches on. We had Dustin Poles last week on talking it all up, so looking forward to that. So get over to Flash Pin Productions. Make sure to buy that pay-per-view. It's only $10. Support these guys out, man. They're dropping major money to make this production all it is, and they're going at it a whole different way. I know on their big main event match, which is Mike Bedwell, and they got they're doing like some kind of gauntlet where it's like right hand and left hand. One round is right hand right after going to the left hand, and it's definitely something different. And I like when new promotions try different things out to get more eyes on it. Also, want to shout out Jody Williams is in the house. What's up, Jody? How you doing, brother? So, what else we got coming up? And then we got over in Tampa, Florida, September 7th at the Fit Fest big tournament over in Florida. We got the main event match going to be Brad Grundy going against Carl Stanley, which is going to be a left-hand match. That one's going to be a good one. So if you're over in Florida, make sure to hit that up. And then we got Pro Gear Arm Wrestling's got a big event going down in Indiana, the Arnold Qualifier. So that's going down September 28th. Definitely make sure to check that out as well. We got a little feedback coming from somebody's mic right now. I'm not sure who. Let me figure that out as well. We got to clear that up. Hold on. Okay, cool. All right, so I want to break in. So let's start off with you, Landon. I want to hear about how long you've been arm wrestling, where you're out of, what team do you train with?
Okay. Well, I started arm wrestling my freshman year of high school. When I was 14. I started with Dalton Bumgardner and my brother and all them at the garage. And I've been doing it. November will make 5 years. Now, we've been going pretty strong. I pulled my first pro tournament when I was 14. I pulled it Luray's 2020 Tri-State. And then I waited 1 year because I won my novice class. I was at 176. And then I waited a year and I pulled pro 220 next year at the same tournament. And I almost beat Chad Silver.
Wow.
My first pro tournament.
So tell me about yourself, brother. Like, how did you come across arm wrestling? Did you used to play any other sports? How did you get so good so quick?
Well, we grew up. We watched Game of Arms. We watched it on TV quite a bit. Me, my brothers, and Dalton and them. And then they started doing it when I was in middle school. And then WL came out. And, I mean, they loved that. They went to a few events and all that stuff. And freshman year, they talked me into going to a practice, and it's just kind of been ever since. I don't know. I got a really good group. We practice every week. I think that's honestly the best way to get better. I feel like train with a good group, real technical, fast guys. Like that helps you a lot more than just pulling strong, slow pullers, because you don't get as technical that way. You know what I mean? But,
So
yeah,
who's your training group? Who are the guys you train with?
Dalton Bumgardner, Quentin Murray, Dale Dolan, just a few other really good guys. Justin Daugherty, a bunch of good lightweights. Quentin Murray, he's my brother. He's number 6 right now on 242 in the hook rankings. So I got a really good group. Really good group.
So what's the secret to your success, bro? Like, how did you get so good so quick? What could you contribute to?
Honestly, just having such a good training group every weekend, and we go out, we go to quite a few tournaments. We just try to get better every week. You know what I mean? It's not just an ego competition at practice every weekend. We're working on what needs to be worked on. So it's really just having a good group. It helps with everything, and be consistent with it.
And what's your training regimen look like? Are you hitting up the gym every week? Like how many workouts you getting in?
I go about, I'd say, 4 to 5 times a week. I just recently started working out pretty heavy again because I ain't been working out again long. But basically every time I go, I do a little bit of pronation work, rise, cup, basic arm wrestling stuff. I don't go heavy all the time. And other than that, I just do, basic workouts like bench, all that stuff.
Do you also train just regular lifts as well, or is it just all arm wrestling specific training?
Well, for about 2 or 3 years, I did mainly just arm wrestling stuff. But I think this last few months, I started working out everything. But yeah, I'd say mainly for sure just arm wrestling stuff. Mainly my pronation, my cup. I'd say that's the main thing I work on.
And what style puller are you? Are you a top roller? Do you like going inside?
Well, left hand, I'm a top roller, but my hands are kind of hurt for a few months. Right-handed, I've been a hook puller for the last 4 years, but it hurts my elbow so bad. I'm really trying to transition to a top roller with it because my hand's really good. I just the motion don't feel right. You know what I mean? I got to get comfortable doing it. But yeah, I think now I'm gonna try to transition slowly into a top roller with my right.
What is your strength in arm wrestling? Is it like the hand? Is your wrist? Like what stands out the most with you?
I'd say for me, definitely my wrist. I think that's my main thing. My wrist and my side pressure, I'd say.
And now, how did you develop that? Is that from being on the table, or is it certain workouts you're doing?
I'd say definitely table because when I started, my hand was awful. My hand and wrist was not good. I'd get in a hook. Dalton and them would flash pin me every time I tried to get in one, and it slowly just developed over the last few years. It's my first year. My hand, you couldn't feel it. You know what I mean? And now, people hits that my weakness every practice, and it's just slowly become my best thing. I feel like.
What's some of your top wins that you had? Because I've heard Lorray saying that you've beat some heavy hitters in tournaments and all. So let us know some of the guys that you've got pins on.
I've got pins on Josh Elton, Austin Jaggers.
Wait, Austin Jaggers, super heavyweight Austin Jaggers?
Yeah, I beat him left-handed last year. Yeah, I think last year.
Wow, and he is a monster with that left hand. And where did you meet up with him? Is it like in an overall or something?
It was in a tournament in Dixon, Tennessee. Yeah, an overall. My left felt amazing that day.
I would say so, bro. If you got a pin on Austin Jaggers left hand, yeah.
You were what, like 205 that day?
Well, I was around 210 that day, I think. Right around 210.
So Matt, you hear this guy, he's 205, 210, and he's pinning Austin Jaggers left hand. I mean, what's your thoughts on that, bro?
Yeah, it's an incredible win. And when somebody has a significant weight advantage and is in a super heavyweight, it's almost that John Brzenk style win, and that's what made his legacy, was beating those guys that were so much bigger than him, those giants, and taking him down. So, yeah, absolutely incredible, mate. You're doing big things in the sport.
That is just amazing.
I think, his wins over Brandon Elsesser, Robbie, Adam Warzinski,
Whoa. Robbie Russell? You got a pin on Robbie Russell in a tournament?
Adam Warzinski?
Jeez.
Yep.
So tell us about that. That was right arm, left arm?
It was left. I've not pulled Robbie fresh in the tournament right-handed. His hooks are strong. It's hard to get away from that. But, yeah, left-handed, my left's got most of my good wins. But I feel like as of this last half a year, my right's been jumping ahead of my left pretty good. So
So you would say you're right hand dominant, but your left is also a killer as well.
Yeah, I'd say so. Because my hand, since I heard it, I pulled Josh Elton back in, I think, March or February, and something popped in my hand, and it just not felt right since. So and ever since then, my right's been just significantly getting stronger. It feels amazing.
Wow, bro. So what do you have next? Are you planning on competing in any tournaments? Do you have any super matches coming up?
I might have something coming up in November. I'm not exactly sure yet, but other than that, really right now I'm just training, kind of getting ready. I want to go after somebody who's at least top 10 right-handed in the 220s. So
Are you ranked right now with the 220s?
I am left-handed. I'm number 5 left-handed. I want to get on there right too.
Okay. So Larray, tell us about when did you come across Landen, and what's your thoughts on him as a puller?
Oh, dude. I mean, I tell everybody I really think Landen's the future of the sport. The dude's so young and he's so hungry. Every time I see him pull a tournament, it's like he improves every time. And like when he said about his practices, I've been around arm wrestling a long time. They have the best practices, man. Like they are going full throttle for 4 to 5 hours. It's insane. Like I mean, now I see why they are how they are. It's not just Landon. It's his brother Quentin. He's a high level 242. Dalton Bumgarner just went down to East West, pulled the tournament, pulled the 187 class, and got second behind. I can't remember who won it.
Yeah, that Bulgarian 187-pound champ.
Yeah, and Dalton's a 165 guy, and he pulled the 187s and got second and beat Max Taubin, and like their team is ridiculous, man. Like they have a great team.
What are they doing different over there? How does the practice go? Are they just just pulling hard on each other for a long period of time, or is it like a structured practice?
Man, it's hard to say. Like they have a little bit of everything, it's a very large group, and it is structured, but at the same time, it's full blown. Give it your go, and dude, it's something about them Tennessee mountains, man. I'm telling you, them kids got something in the water up there, and anyone will tell you that. You can ask Robbie that. There's something up there in that group that is special, man. I'm telling you.
We have another guy in my group. His name is Justin Darty. He's 19 as well. And he is, to be at 54, he is dumb strong. He needs to get some spotlight too. He is ridiculous to be that weight.
It's got to be some in the water over there in Tennessee. We got to get that tested or something. I mean, holy shit.
It's crazy.
Israel, what's your thoughts, man, when you hear this? When you hear a 19-year-old getting pins like he is on these big names in the sport and, a lot bigger than him. What's your thoughts on this? You're also one of those young bucks coming up and, making a lot of noise and getting a lot of big pins on them.
I got to say, man, that's really impressive, Landon. A lot of those names you mentioned are big names. Now, I do have a quick question. You have been pinning these guys left-handed. Is that because you're left-hand dominant?
Well, no, I'm right-handed. It's just
okay.
My left, I don't know, for some reason, for like a year, I think a year span, my left just shot up for some reason. I think it was my hand, but now it's kind of hurt, so I'm kind of bouncing back from that. But yeah, my left, just the way I guess my style, it's really helped me a lot.
Do you think that you were pretty even with your right and left hand in terms of strength?
My right outlives my left in every single lift. Every single one.
So you just haven't really gotten the opportunity to showcase your right yet.
Yeah, because last time I pulled a tournament, I think, besides this last tournament, right-handed, I was going to cut until like 98, but I missed by like a couple pounds, and I just felt awful. And I had a few hard matches with a really good like 220, 242 guy. And yeah, since then I've not really got to showcase it, but it's made leaps and bounds stronger since then. So.
Now, how tall are you, Anderson?
I'm 6'1".
6'1". Okay.
How come we didn't get to see him in any of the round robins, Larray? Is it because he's not on the ranking list, or
Sorry, my mic was muted. The 220 that we did was right-handed at the time, and I think you had something with work that day. Did you not, Landon? We couldn't get you out there. We were going to bring him with us, honestly, and put him in it, but I think, I mean, you got to think he's young. He's just starting his trade school and stuff. And so, yeah, I think that interfered with the schedule.
And what super matches have you been in? Have you taken up any super matches?
I pulled David Terrell, I pulled Easton McCormick, and I pulled Tim Lewis. That's been my main three like official matches. I've had a bunch more like at practice. We'll meet up there and have matches. But other than that, that's my main three.
And what were the results on those? And were they all right hand, left hand? What arms?
I pulled David Terrell right hand. I beat him 3-0. And then I pulled Easton McCormick left and right.
Hold on, let's slow down a little. Dave Terrell, that's that young up and coming. He's like really getting his name out there. How old is he?
Same age as me.
Wow. Okay, so that's a very impressive win. You know, I heard about him. And say that again. Sorry, I thought you said something.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I said Andy's from Tennessee too.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, now the next one was Easton
McCormick. We pulled left and right, and that I 3-0'd him both hands.
Oh,
and then I pulled Tim Lewis, and I 3-0'd him left-handed.
Wow. Oh, wow. All right. That is something right there. Cause you know, I always said, you know, Tim Lewis is the gatekeeper as far as the elites with the left arm. And for you to beat him with the left, I know some people get some wins on him right, and all his right ain't the same level as the left. That means a lot. And the 3-0, and I mean, dude, you just named the whole list, and it seems like he didn't lose one round. Is this correct on all three of those matches?
Let's see, yeah, because slow pulling with me, you know, I ain't been in it as long as some of these other guys. I'm not going to be as strong as them, but on a ready go, it's a lot easier to hit more angles on a go. So it's a lot easier to get pins.
Are you one of those guys that just you're really fast off the go and you're flashing them like that, or?
I think for my weight and size, I think I'm really quick to be my size. So.
Wow, very impressive, brother. Very, very impressive. So, what is your goals in arm wrestling? You know, where do you want to take this? Are you looking to be, you know, #1 in the world eventually?
I want to be the best. If I'm gonna do it, I want to be the best at it. You know what I mean? So.
Okay. So you're all in on this, man. You're in here you're a lifer with arm wrestling, and you're taking this very seriously.
Yeah. If I do it, I want to do it to the best of my abilities, and I want to be the best. So I want to get my name out there. I want to get some big matches. I feel like I'm ready for that.
Now, let me ask you, what's some arm wrestlers that kind of inspired you, you know, as at the beginning? I know you said you watched Game of Arms and all. Is there somebody that like stands out that you kind of, you know, inspired to be like one day?
Well, I always loved John Brezink and Travis Bajan. That was my two favorites when I first started. And then as I've got more into it, my favorites are Travis, John, Arsen Liliev. I love how he arm wrestles. And Ivan Matushenko, I used to love watching him too. There's a few of them I really like to watch because I feel like I pull kind of similar to some of them.
So which one is got a similar style to you? Is there anybody that's, you know, very close in style?
I feel like Arsen, the way not Arsen, Ivan Matushenko, the way he hits in the hook, it's like, I feel like it looks just like mine, and I love it.
What's some of your favorite matches that Ivan's been in?
Honestly, his most recent one, left-handed, that was good. That was a really good one.
Oh, yeah.
It was against Muratov.
Wow.
I don't know. I love watching him arm wrestle. Like all the training videos of him pulling with Dennis and all them left-handed. I don't know. He's really fun to watch. I've always liked him.
I want to get into, you know, recently there was a post out on LeRay's, not YouTube, on his Facebook, and it got a lot of traction. Everybody was talking about it, and, you know, it was like controversy with it, and, you know, so I want to break into that. LeRay, can you kind of fill everybody in how it all came about and all?
Yeah, man. First off, I want to say, like, Landen didn't tell me to post that, right? So for if anyone thought that wasn't the case, it's just been something that's been talked about like a lot. Landen's 19, Auden's 19. They're both around the 220 class ish, right? And you know, it's just something because, you know, Landen, he's considered the #1 teen in, you know, United States. So we want to see him get a higher, you know, stage And what better to do it than, against Auden? And, we know like that's a high level match as far as exposure wise. And we know, it'll take certain things to happen. But we believe in Landen, so we wanted to see that happen. And back, again, say they're both 19, they're both trajectory for the sport is ridiculous. Why not start a rivalry now, right? And then see this go on for 30 years. That would be insane, right? Because I believe that could be. Because I truly believe Landen's the future of the sport. I believe Auden's the future of the sport. And, it's time we start seeing the new generation come up, and, it's great to see John Brzenk and, all the, old school guys, but they're not going to be here forever, and we got to have the next gen ready. And it's just that time.
Now,
Why
does
not
he
now?
hold that? Does he hold that actual title of the best teen in the United States? Like, is
I
that
mean,
official?
that's a hard thing to really record, right? We did do a big teen round robin a while back, and he went through the class easy. Nobody slowed him down. And find me another 19-year-old that has those wins that he does.
Now, is there anybody on your radar, Landon, in the teens other than Auden, like that's in North America that could potentially give you some problems?
Not really. I ain't trying to be cocky, but I feel like right now, how I feel, I think I will do well with any of them. But I don't know. And Auden, I feel like I'm really confident about that match because I don't think I would feel him. But
Yeah, and it's not being cocky, brother. When you're that good and you're getting the pins that you are, man, you're actually very humble, because I would know most 19-year-olds would be, out on social media bragging about it and getting it out there. And that's one of the kind of things that I was kind of getting at under the post and all. And I meant no disrespect to you, but I just kind of wanted the reality check because I'm one of those guys when I see call it. I want to actually make it happen. I don't want to talk about what if, this, so what I was trying to say under there before I even knew who you were or your pulling skills was, if you want to get a match like that, you got to build a social media presence. That is one of the most important things these days, because times are changing. Everything's out on social media and, it's great to be a great puller. But if nobody knows you other than your area, it's not really going to get you that far, and there's different ways to get yourself out there. I know some people, really don't like to be on social media and kind of blow themselves up like that. So they need guys like, Lorray, myself, to kind of do it for them. Or I was also saying, because somebody brought up John Brzenk and, John Brzenk didn't really, make too much noise because he wasn't around during that social media, presence and all. But what he did is he would travel everywhere, when nobody really did. If there was any challenge out there, John's on the next flight going to have that super match and all. And that's like really what got him, being the GOAT of our sport. There was never a challenge that he wouldn't take up and all. So I went under there and I just kind of said that, and I got some blowback. Everybody was like going under me and kind of like taking what I was saying as like me being the enemy. And I was just trying to enlighten everybody like, yo, I'm trying to make something like that happen. And I'm trying to help you out by telling you how to get out there, So what I want to say to you, man, is it's time to start getting into social media. You should have a YouTube channel. I mean, you're 19 years old. It's time to get out there, get a YouTube channel and start, those big practices that you're having. And you say that, you have the best team. We want to see that. We want to see what you're doing, to get to the level that you are. So that could be a great start for you. Also, any of those workouts that you're doing, should definitely put that out there, and people are going to start following you. They're going to start to get to know you. And now, when you come out with a big call out, I know Lorray did the call out for you, but, you'll get some traction. So I wanted to ask Matt, what's your whole thoughts? Because Matt, he runs the biggest organization over in Australia, AWE. And what do you look for, bro, when you're looking to set a match? And what are you expecting from the athletes as far as self-promotion and all? Oh, sorry. Let me unmute you over there. There you go.
There we go. I said, I love it. I think what you're doing is fantastic for the sport, and your results really speak for themselves in a lot of ways. at this point in time, best way to get these really big matches is creating your own social media stuff and really pushing yourself out there. And it doesn't have to be from a hey, look at me, I'm awesome sort of perspective, but you can just put stuff up and you don't even have to talk to camera. You can just put, your matches, your wins, your training. We've got a young man here, Rickard Bornman, who's 19 years old as well, who's been doing phenomenally well. And if you look at his social media stuff, he's well over 10,000 followers now on Facebook in, I think, 6 weeks since we started the account for him, just based on putting up training videos every day. It's just him doing a different lift. And it's not that he's putting up anything where he's talking to camera, calling people out or any of that stuff. It's just building that profile and getting content out there all the time so that you're sort of always in the forefront of people's minds. But I'd love to see a match with you and Auden. I don't think Auden, if I was running Auden's management side of things, I'd be very careful about who I would pick for his opponent. And the reason I wouldn't want to have a match with you, I think you'd probably be the heavy favorite. And in those circumstances there, I think the way that the Lorats are treating it is very similar to what they do in boxing, where your record says everything. And if you're undefeated, then it's worth so much more. And, if he goes against you at this point in time and you destroy him, it can really hamper his progress. So, but I would love to see it. And I think it's the perfect challenge to make. You got two 19-year-old superstars in North America. One is relatively unknown, one is very well known, but, it makes a case for a very good match. And yeah, the only reason I don't think it would happen is because I think that they would be trying to protect his record.
Yeah, I want to answer to that, man, because I seen the comments going on, and it seems like people are getting a little fed up with the matches that Auden's taken. That's was the main thing I seen under LeRay's post. People are tired of just seeing, like matches against James English. Don't get me wrong. That was an exciting match and all, but, James is not really an arm wrestler. He's pretty new to arm wrestling. He's got a huge fitness background. I mean, I get it as a promoter. He's trying to network himself and get into new industries and getting more eyes on the sport. So, I like that he's doing that because it is helping us grow as a sport. But at the same time, we do want to see the real level where he's at, because we do know he is a really great arm wrestler. I mean, Devin's his father. He's training with him every day. I'm very impressed at how quick, he's leveling up, but at the same time, I'm really not sure where he is on the food chain. I don't know if he is one of the top guys in the country, or, is he taking matches that, it's really not telling us much. That first one he went against with the Whisper, Whisper was, probably about 30 pounds lighter than him. And Whisper, he's a great puller, man. He's got a huge social media, one of the biggest on the planet as far as an arm wrestler, but I would have liked to see somebody a little closer in weight, to really get a good judge of where he's at. Israel, I want to ask you the same question, brother. What's your thoughts on, Auden and taking the matches? Would you like to see him going against somebody like Landen, kind of get a real gauge of where he's at on the food chain?
Yeah, man, absolutely. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think that would be a really good match. I know that Auden is training like crazy. Landen is obviously very strong. I mean, I think at the minimum it's going to be a competitive match. And, Landen could use the exposure. I mean, why not? He's competitive. He's built himself to that level. He deserves it. So I definitely think there's room for that. I mean, if Auden decides not to do it, okay. He's going to be taking celebrity matches. That works. But for how long? I mean, eventually you have to become a legitimate arm wrestler. Why not start taking some legitimate matches when you can? I mean, he's 19. He's not really losing anything,
Yeah, and I see that it's kind of hurting him by the responses of everybody, because they're thinking that he's just cherry picking. It's kind of looking that way. What is your guys' whole thoughts on the next match he's got at King of Table? He's going to be going against the Korean Hulk, which, the dude looks like an absolute monster. But then when you hear that he hasn't arm wrestled in like 2-3 years, you're just like, how does this make sense? And, why are they doing matches like that. It's, I understand the guy's got a big media background and all, but is this really a match? Lorray, what's your thoughts on that match?
I can't really say on that too much because I don't really know that guy, the Korean Hulk. Is that what you said? Oh, I think you're muted.
Yeah, so he was world level, I think, years back or something. I seen on Orton's channel and all. I think he was before I was actually in the sport. That's when he was doing his polling and all.
I mean, it's hard to say on that one. I will say that, I do think people are starting to get tired of the pick me matches, right? It's no disrespect to Auden. We know that he has a ridiculous trajectory. I mean, he's the son of one of the greatest of all time, right? And he's gonna be up there one day. He's 19 years old, and I like Matt said, it's kind of a protecting of record. But man, like, dude, go ask the best. Like, people lose, and it's okay, especially when you're 19. It's okay to take a loss every now and then. And I get the social media deal, but I think Travis said it not too long ago. He lost his match, and people were already talking about who he's going to pull next. Like, losses are short lived. People don't really remember those too much. They remember your wins, but I think people are slowly starting to get tired of it. That's why you see people getting frustrated, and you see people trying to push him to pull more established arm wrestlers, more active arm wrestlers. But I mean, again, I completely understand it. It's a hard thing to really sit down and figure out what you want to do.
I think he's actually taking the match with the Korean Hulk because I think he was hearing a lot of blowback from, consistently being the bigger guy in the matches he was taking. Like I just said with the Whisper, he had about 30 pounds on him. With James English, I think, it was like 20 pounds bigger than him. And I think that's why they decided the Korean Hulk, just because the guy looks huge. I mean, the guy is just absolutely massive and all. So I was feeling it like that. But after seeing your post, I did my research. I started looking up Landen and everything. And when I seen the matches and the pins that he was getting, I'm like, oh my God, this is the dude. He needs to get out there a little more and get his social media presence. So I'm like, yo, we got to get him on the Buzz Show, just so that he could tell about everything. So I want to hear from you, Landen. What's your thoughts on Orton's past matches? You've been watching him obviously and all.
Well, I understand it, but like, you're gonna pull a small guy. I'm sorry, Whisper is good, but he's not a big dude. I mean, Auden's a pretty big guy. And he's pulling somebody who really don't even arm wrestle, just started. And then, I don't know, Korean Hulk, he'd be a really good win if he got it, But he's not pulled in years, so nobody knows where he's at right now. So it's really just untelling, you know what I mean? But
Exactly.
I think, I understand, but at the same time, I think the best should pull the best, you know what I mean? That's kind of where I stand on it. But I'm definitely, so I'm going to start trying to promote myself more and post more and definitely try to get that to grow a little bit because I think that's what I need at this point.
And I want to say one more thing too. Like, the whole call out, it wasn't a disrespect towards Auden. Like, it's a respect thing. Like, he's Canada's best 19-year-old, if not, the North America, right? And like, we believe in Landen, we see his wins, and we know, like, man, we see Auden getting this exposure, and we understand why. But we believe in our guy, and we're like, man, we think our guy can have that level. So that was the whole reason for the call out. It wasn't no disrespect towards Auden. I think he's got a bright future. I'm a fan.
Hey, Lorray, this is what you do, bro. You're a promoter. You're supposed to do that. I mean, nobody should take offense to, call it. Obviously, it's respect because I could see how you guys look at Landen and the way that you guys are so confident in him. So you guys want to put him up against the best. Them both being 19 years old, they're at the same weight right now. And it also got to be said, it looks like that Orton is going to, keep getting bigger and bigger very quickly. So this match makes sense now, and we need to make this happen now, in my eyes, because, could be, 6 months from now, he could be in a whole nother weight category, and then we never got to see it. But I want to introduce, guys, we got Arm Wrestling Buzz crew member that just popped in. We got Uncle John in the house looking absolutely massive. Oh, I love the shirt, brother. Hell yeah. What's up, Uncle John? How are you tonight, brother?
I do want to start my time. If everybody could just take a moment to appreciate how absolutely massive I am right now, because my God, am I big. I can't even get in the doors anymore. I spend more time trying to turn my shoulders than anything else. Oh,
What's the
Lord.
weight at, big guy?
Afternoon weight of 255. So we're right in the wheelhouse for a nice little cut down to 42.
Wow, bro, looking absolutely massive, man. So I want to hear you weigh in on this whole thing. I don't know if you heard, what's been going on.
A little
We
bit,
got
a little bit.
we got a young phenom, 19-year-old Landon Anderson in the house, and there was some talk of possibly making an Auden Lorette match and him going at it. So what's your thoughts on that? Would you like to see something like that?
So this is really, the thing that you have to do when you think about Auden Lorette matches is you have to throw logic out the window, because arm wrestling plays a much lower, right now, I believe arm wrestling plays a lower factor than notoriety, than getting somebody of a known level, so then they can both push each other upwards, and at the same time being very careful with Auden. From like the manager mindset is, you want them to win, and you want them to win against people where the common person doesn't, they don't know. They don't know that this guy's better than that guy or that guy. They don't understand that. They see a big giant Korean Hulk versus Auden Lorette, and it's going to look super weird. And then it's going to look even weirder to them when Auden Lorette beats the piss out of them. Right? So I want to see matches that are super competitive. I want to know who the best guy is in North America. Now that I'm back in the US, I'm real excited about North America and where people fall. So I really like that. But for Auden, the match has to sell. And right now, I think Auden needs that opponent who has something else, right? And that most of the time is going to be a following. And whether it's good, bad, or right or wrong, I think that's what it is. And that's what it probably will be for the foreseeable future. All I know is that Auden is definitely going to be a baddie. He's going to be a heel. He's going to be a bad guy, but he's going to get to a certain point in his career where he needs to prove he's the baddest. And that's when Uncle John is going to cash the chips in, because it's going to be Uncle John versus Auden Lorette. And Auden's going to have 10 million followers, and I'm going to reap the reward of being the baddest guy ever in the history of the sport. Book it.
Hey,
Well,
can I chime in on that real quick?
Yeah,
Yep.
Lorette, what's up, brother?
I like the comment, like the way you said Auden's going to be the bad guy. Like, that's spot on. The thing is, Devin is that right now, right?
Yes.
But he has a huge fan base. We love that, because he's doing that to legitimate arm wrestlers. He's snatching them at the table and talking to them on the table.
Yep.
We get turned off by that when you're doing that to someone who isn't a legitimate arm wrestler. And that's why you're starting to see the frustration, I think, with Auden.
Yeah. And it's really just, you have to be able to switch your brain off of arm wrestler mode or arm wrestler fan mode. And I try to think like my mom. My mom is like, oh, my son arm wrestler. She doesn't know what that means. She doesn't really get it. And that's what most people do. They don't really get it. So it's just a matter of, who are they promoting Auden to? The arm wrestling community or every other person ever?
Yeah.
Right.
I think there's got to be a fine balance there, though, bro. And I think it's coming to a head right now, because when you see, under his YouTube videos, I'm talking about Auden, you could see the regular arm wrestler is kind of getting mad now. They're getting offended in the matches. And also, if he wants to keep the respect with the arm wrestling community, I think we need to see a match that, is fair, two guys around the same weight, same age. I think that needs to happen, because if he keeps going with the celebrity matches, I think the arm wrestling community is about to turn on him.
What
And
if,
I love Auden, man. Like, I'm a big fan of him. I've been supporting him from the beginning and all. But what told me was LeRay's post when I was going under and seeing all these comments, and I think there was like 180, likes, and couple hundred comments, and everything was like, we need to see this happen. And you could clearly see that people are viewing Landen as the favorite in that match, and people were sharing it all over. And I kind of was sorry that I even commented under it, because I just it was nonstop me getting tagged and everybody mad at me, and I'm like, yo, I'm not trying to be the enemy here. I'm just trying to tell you guys what needs to be done for this match to actually happen. So I will also want to say something right now. So I looked up at Landen's videos, and I've seen this dude is the real deal. And I also want to be the guy to help him get out there. This is why I have him on the show right now. I'm hoping he's going to get a lot of publicity. A lot of people are going to know him after this. And I also want to give him the chance. So Italia is a man where he's going to put his money where his mouth is. So I'm going to put up $2,500 of my own money to make this match happen. And I know LeRay was saying in the past that, he would want to put up some money, get his team that also support him. So LeRay, I'm going to ask you right now, would you match that $2,500, and let's get a $5,000 pot together for the winner of Auden Lorette against Landen Anderson?
I believe our team can do it. There was a lot of people. You can go read the comments yourself. There's a lot of people, even arm wrestlers who aren't even in the state. I mean, even Adam Warzinski, he said himself he would put money in to see this match happen. People want to see this match happen. I understand that the bigger, the outside the arm wrestling community that sells pay-per-views, they're targeting that audience. But the fact is, Landen will sell pay-per-views because he's the best kept secret in America. I'm telling you, when this kid gets on the big stage, people are going to want him at their event.
Well,
Same thing you've seen.
I took it one step further, bro. I wanted to come prepared here. Not only am I going to put up the money, I have the big stage for this to happen. So January 25th, Knuckles Up 5 is throwing a big event. They got a stack card on this. They haven't gone public with actual matches on it, but it is stacked. I mean, I know what they are, and it's next level. So I talked to these guys, and they're down. They want this to happen. So Auden, if you are listening, you got $5,000 to the winner at Knuckles Up 5, January 25th. Now, for some reason, if you can't make that, we could work around that, and whatever next event they have, we could also hold it there. So, $5,000, we got the big stage. Knuckles Up is doing huge things. The production is completely next level. I've been getting behind them from day one. I really, truly believe in these guys. They really stepped up the whole game in the arm wrestling production. So we have the big stage. We got the $5,000 set. So Auden, it's an official call out now. Landen, are you down with this to make this happen?
I'm down with anything. I'm telling you, anybody can get it right now if they want it. I'm down to pull anybody. Hell, Uncle John, I'd pull you if you want it.
I'd pull you for $5,000, no problem.
Anybody can get it. Ain't worried about it.
Well, this is an official call out for Auden. So get back to us. Let us know. Everybody in the chat, I encourage you guys to hit up Auden and, just let them know that the $5,000 pot is there. It could go down at any of the Knuckles Up events. The next one being January 25th. I'd love to make this happen like right away, so that's the next big one that we could get that on the card. And then if that does not work, then we could do it at their next event after that, which they'll be going public soon with that. And, I looked at Auden's YouTube channel, and the last video on there, he said the only thing that he's got going on is the Korean Hulk. So we know that there's no other matches set for him after that, so, I hope that $5,000 is going to want to make this happen. I mean, two 19-year-olds, top of the food chain. It's time to really get a real match and show where you're at, bro. So Let's make this happen. And I want to get thoughts on from Matt Connolly. What's your thoughts on this whole thing? Are you excited to hear something like this go down?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, $5,000 is nothing to sneeze at, and you know, if you put your money where your mouth is, it's like we want to make this match happen, and rather than just sitting there and saying, "Hey, look, I'd love to get it happening," it's like, well, no, here's $5,000, and here's the stage. Knuckles up in January. If you want to do it, we'll do it, and yeah, can't wait. If hopefully we can get this to happen.
We got a super chat from Ryan Bowen for $5. He said, "5K and Knuckles up. That's an offer can't refuse." There you go, bro. 100%, man.
Hey,
Uncle John, what's your thoughts on that whole match, bro? Are you excited to hear this? Like, would you like to see this go down?
Between Auden and Landen?
Yes.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm just gonna lay this out there, Landen. You need to get more words in per minute on the show, buddy. You gotta tell me who you are. I don't know who you are, man. Tell me who you are. Tell me what you're gonna do. Tell me why you're gonna do it. Why should Auden? Is he a little bitch? Is that why?
What it's seeming like so far, I don't know.
I don't care if you don't. I don't care what you don't know. I want to know what you do know.
Well, I've commented on all their posts. We've made plenty of posts about it. Obviously, somebody don't want that match, so I don't know.
And then the one thing I ask with this, if you do get the win that day, brother, you got to get yourself a better setup because your phone has got the worst feedback and your service is not good. So we got to get you on definitely a better connection over there for sure, bro.
Definitely.
he in the mountains, man.
Hell yeah, I ain't got good service out here.
Well, we could get a better Wi-Fi. $5,000 could go a long way, man. So let's hope we could get that to happen. But yeah, man, I really want to see this happen. I got to mute you for a minute because the feedback is just horrible on there. I really want to make
headphones on. If you've got a pair of headphones, mate, if you put them on, we won't get that issue anymore.
Perfect. Lorray, what's your thoughts, man? Are you excited about this? You know, I didn't mean to put you on the spot and all, but you know, I know you said you were down to put up the money and you guys were trying to find out what the number is. So I figured, you know, this is a way to get the ball moving, you know, in the right direction.
Yeah, man. And look, Landon's got a lot of supporters. Like I said, you can go on that post and see a lot of people believe in him and a lot of people are willing to put in on this because it's a match we want to see, you know. And, you know, I know Uncle John trying to squeeze, trying to poke on Landen. That's just not him. We're trying to get him to that point. You know, we recognize where you have to be in the social media world. Dude, Landen, if you meet this dude, he's one of the nicest, most respectful kids, humble. You know, it's hard to get someone to act, you know, especially at this age.
Well, here's the deal, right? Here's the deal. Whether we like it or not, the sport changes and times change, right? Yep. You know, the only reason that Uncle John as a character exists is because I saw Bottom 8 and I'm like, this is what it's going to be. I said it when that happened. I'm like, this is what arm wrestling is going to be. And it turns out that is exactly what it is becoming more and more, especially at the higher levels or with the medium levels with people who are higher social status, whatever you want to call it. And so we have to figure out by having these conversations, we got to figure out how to play the game better because it's not just about being a good arm wrestler. It's not just about being strong anymore. If you really want to get to the pointy end of things, you got to be able to talk. You got to be able to converse. You got to be able to have some kind of back and forth. It doesn't have to be like brash. It doesn't have to be crazy, but it has to be something.
Exactly. And it's everybody's got their own strengths that, you know, make them stick out. And that's the key is you got to stick out, man. Because if you're just like another regular person that's just a good arm wrestler, well, we got, you know, hundreds to almost thousands in this world that are like that. So you got to stand out. And, you know, I believe so much in you, brother. And, you know, I think you deserve that opportunity. When I hear the pins that you get, and I seen the videos and all, at first I was like, who is this kid? No way. You know, yeah, he might be good and all, but, you know, I didn't see, the actual videos. After watching the video, which I'm asking everybody to in the chat, go check him out, bro. This kid is the real deal. He deserves it. And I think it's a win-win for everybody now, because for Orton, I just didn't see it making sense. But now it does, because he's got $5,000 as the pot. He's got a big stage. Knuckles Up is doing it big. The production they put on, the press conference and everything is next level. And they roll out the red carpet for all their athletes. Literally, like anybody that's been on one of their cards just is like, if you get an opportunity, jump on it, And, I feel like if you get this match and we can get this locked in, this is going to be a game changer for you, Landen. And if you do get that win, you're going to have the whole world watching you. And, now it's time to start developing, figuring out your character, and I don't mean coming up with something fake. It's just let people know the real you, you know what I mean? And start making some noise like we were talking about earlier. Get your YouTube channel out now. Now it's the time to go make that. You don't got to go and talk behind it if you don't feel comfortable with it, but eventually you will, once you making some videos and put out your training videos and all. And I think that's the key, bro. And now you have the platform. You just got on the buzz. I know all the organizations are watching that. I put Knuckles Up on here like a week ago. I hit them up and I, kind of just told them the whole deal, and they went and checked out your video and they're like, hell yeah, this makes sense. We like the kid and all. So I hope we can make this locked in, guys. So Orton, if you're listening, man, let me just say it one more time. $5,000, January 25th, Knuckles Up 5. Let's see if we can make it happen. For some reason, if you, got something going on or, you can't make that date, we can make it the next one after. And the way I look at it is you got to start proving yourself to the arm wrestlers. We know you could get some great celebrity matches and all, but we all want to see what level you're actually at. And to see you guys at 19 years old, we'll make it a 220 weight class so that, everybody's at the exact same weight. Nobody's weighing more than the other. It makes sense for everybody. So let's make this happen, guys. Really excited about it. I want to thank you guys for coming on, Lorray and Landen. Do you guys have anything else you want to say? Any other social media platforms that people could check out or whatever?
No, man. I'm just on Facebook. I got my YouTube channel. Go subscribe. I don't even have 1,000 subscribers yet, so whatever. But yeah, that's about it. Last thing I'll say on it is, Auden, take advantage of this, because I promise you, Landen is on his way regardless, and you are too. But regardless of this match, I think Landen will be at the top. But we're going to use this as a stepping stool.
And then Lorray, please, man, figure out that whole round robin thing, because I really want to see that continue, and I want to see you involved with it. And also, I can't stress that enough. Landen, where can people find you? Are you on Facebook, Instagram?
Yeah, I got I got Facebook. I post on my Instagram and my TikTok quite a bit. I'd say I'm on TikTok more than anything, but I definitely need to start posting my YouTube as well. And yeah, that's my main things I'm on. TikTok mainly is the main one for me, though, for sure.
All right, well, we're going to get around to YouTube now. If you need help with that, bro, I can give you some tips and all. So definitely hit me up when you get some time, and I'll give you some tips of how to get out there. And, I've been helping out another kid, Austin Collins, who's been doing great things in the sport. And he wasn't really the most savvy on social media. He hit me up. I gave him a couple of tips. Next thing, he puts out a video. 15 minutes later, he locks in a big match against Steve Loxton. So that's what it's about, man, is, just a little couple of tweaks and we can make big things happen. But I want to thank you two for coming on tonight. And yeah, we'll stay in touch as soon as I hear something back from Orton, or if one of you guys hears something back, definitely keep us up to date and all. And we'll keep letting everybody on the Arm Wrestling Buzz, find out what's actually locked in and what's going to happen. So thank you guys for coming on.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks for having us on, bro. You have a great platform. You're a great promoter on getting guys to the next level. So thanks for having us on.
Hey, here's what you guys got to do to get Auden. All right. You're going to go out and you're going to be like in the town, going to like grocery stores, and you're going to it's going to be a compilation of you arm wrestling grandmothers, and you're going to smash the grandma, and you're going to be like, I'm ready for Auden Larrett. boom, smash another grandma. I'm ready for Auden Larrett. And it's just smashing grandmas and then say, what can you say about this, Auden? I'm ready. And you get the dig in at the same. Oh, that's the one. That's the one. You gotta dig out, get him out of his hole.
Love it. All right,
Are we
fellas.
gonna be smashing grandmas? I couldn't stop on that one, homie.
Look, I got a lot of hobbies. All right.
Well, I want to
I mean,
introduce now. We got Paul Passmore in the house, man, and these guys got a big match coming up September 7th. I'm really excited about this. It's going to be a left-hand match going down at Battlegrounds 4. They got a stack card and all, so I had to have these guys on. You know, I seen pictures of Paul recently, and I'm like, oh my God, he is shredding up right now. You could see with those arms, he looking jacked as hell, bro. So kind of fill us in what's going on, man, and you know, what can we expect from this match? Because we're looking at Uncle John, and the dude is just absolutely massive right now. Is that guy you a little worried?
You mean John's a big, beautiful man. I've been actually watching him for a while. To be honest with you, I agree completely with everything that's been said about the social media, right? It's something I need to focus on more. I have an extremely busy life. My job, I coach my kids' teams and stuff like that. But I do have a social media platform on about everything with a good amount of followers. I've maxed out a lot of stuff. I'm not on John's level on a lot of the stuff. He's done a very damn good job with it. I can talk shit all day with the best of them. I love talking. I love interviewing. I love interviewing people. I love being interviewed. I love being on podcasts. I've done commentating before. It's something I'm good at, but it's something I need to find more time to do. I spend a lot of time training and with my family, so it's something I guess I want to start giving up some sleep in order to get more time to do my social media. Now, with that said, I can't effing stand it. It pisses me off, actually. It really does. I feel like I'm one of those athletes out there that's been quietly paying my dues. I've kicked a lot of big asses in this sport over the years. And, you know, I'm watching guys with a great YouTube channel get the matches that I feel like I deserve. It's a fucking game. It's a business. And I understand that. It does piss me off. It doesn't sit right. So, you know, if I want to stay in this sport, I want to learn to play the game. It's frustrating, but the rules are the rules. And that's the rules of this game is what it's evolved into. So, yeah, you know, I'm hesitantly having to learn to be more of a social media person, and you know, but I'm still not going to let that get in the way of my training, because at the end of the day, when you're standing across from me at the table, you know, I'm going to bring it, and you're going to get a bad motherfucker every time. Whether you win or lose, you're going to walk off, you know, licking your wounds. It's going to be rough. I'm going to have a plan A, B, and C, maybe a plan D if I have to, but you know, I'm going to be ready. I'll be in good shape every time. I take it real serious. As far as John goes, actually taking it real serious. I took it very serious from the word go. You know, I know Jonathan Breda is like a brother to me. He called me up, said, hey, listen, I don't want this to come out in a way where it would cause issues, but I'm, you know, helping train John for this match. So I was already taking it serious and a little concerned, but when Jonathan called me, I was like, okay, well, that makes it about 10 times more serious, because, you know, Jonathan's a hell of a trainer. You know, God dang, he's amazing. I will say he is yet to get a win against me, but he's a badass dude. And like I said, I love him like a brother. He's like one of my favorite people in the absolute world. Anytime he comes anywhere near the Southeast, I let him stay at my house and we'll hang out for a few days. Our families are really good friends. Our wives are good friends. You know, in out of respect, he told me he was training John, and that was cool. You know, I like to find out that way. But, you know, he trains with some good minds. Herman Stevens, you know, he's arguably the best mind in the sport. I mean, I'd put him right there with Brzezinski mind-wise, and you know, he's been able to help push Breda to what he's become. Breda's training with some good people, but Herman's got a great mind for the sport, and he's been a good mentor to Jonathan, and so Uncle John's got that behind him. So I do realize, I've had a hell of a match with both of them. Me and Herman had one of probably the best arm wrestling matches in the history of the sport. We had a vendetta in Mississippi. We went 3-3. We were up there probably 30 minutes. It was nasty. I actually attribute that match more to me breaking my arm than anything. I broke my arm about a month later, and Herman and I discussed it. He was like, "I don't know how you even felt like arm wrestling again." He goes, "I took the rest of the year off after that match. It was so brutal." I was like, "I probably should have. My arm did not feel good." And I couldn't resist. I had to get back on the table and try again about a month later. And it that's when I got the break. But in all honesty, I was feeling mentally and physically not right, and just a lot of weird aches in my arm. And then I think it was from a match with Herman. But with all that said, John's leveled up. This is going to be the best version we've ever seen of him. And you're going to get the best version of me you've ever seen as well. He's catching me at the best time for me, worst time for an opponent ever, either arm. I'm real healthy and focused, and my training's just on point. I'm walking around in the mid 240s, so I'm going to have a light cut, and I'll be able to carb up the week before and all that, and come in really strong and healthy and all that. So I'm looking forward to it, John. I think it's going to be a good one, man. Much respect.
John, what could we expect from you that day, man?
Well, there's a time I see, my career is now like 13 years in, and there's a time where, you do certain things a certain way for a certain amount of time. It gets you to a certain place, but then it's time to move on and change. And I think this match in particular is a big one. Like, I've had a very good year, especially left arm. And this match, I beat Jeff Dabe earlier in the year on the left. And then I was like, all right, I don't know where Jeff is right now, but Jeff is very difficult to beat. I was feeling really good. And the match with Paul was like, well, if I'm gonna push, I might as well push hard. And that was what got me to Paul. Because Paul, when I think of 242 top 10, Paul is just always in there. Like forever, I think. It's just, his name's always freaking in there. So for me, it's really about putting myself in a position where I can really see, am I still too far off? Have I gotten to that level? Am I close? That's what this, really is all about for me. And with that change is, I'm not on YouTube every day picking away and doing all the the typical stuff that the Uncle John character is kind of known for doing. So this isn't really Uncle John. This is John Thompson, who's had probably the most significant 12 weeks of training that I've had in arm wrestling. Just really, some things you hear, the things, but it just takes the right combination to like unlock it and let you really start understanding certain things. For me, it was always, my mental relationship with heavy weight was that it hurts me all the time when I try to go heavy. But I kind of really broke everything down and relearned and retrained myself how to get into the positions I need to get into and really actually build some scary power. So I'm really excited because I don't quite know. My power is more, but I don't know how much more.
John, what's the probability that you're going to win? What's the percentage you have it at?
This, I've been doing a lot of mental preparation with this as well. And in the past, I've really allowed myself, or not allowed myself, to think like 100%. It's 100%. It's over. It's done. I don't do that too much. But what I do allow myself to do is update my chances in my mind as I feel where I'm at. You know, if I'm, you know, little things that you notice in the gym where things are a little different, things are a little easier, guys that you usually arm wrestle and they're just becoming more and more manageable for longer periods of time. That is what gives me motivation, because I'm so much stronger than I was 3 months ago, 6 months ago. You know, it's been a crazy 12 months. I'll tell you that.
So I want the meat and potatoes, bro. Are you the favorite in this match in your head?
Me?
Yeah.
I think that anyone with any idea of what the 242 class has been over the last 5 years, I don't think I would be the favorite in most people's minds. I think maybe I have a few people who are going for me because they kind of have been close to my progress, especially over the last 12 months. It's just going to be a little different, I think. I feel different. You know, it's the first time in a long time where I'm already nervous about a match. Like, I get nervous about matches like 3 days before, and that's when I'm thinking up my one-liners and all this kind of stuff. I've been nervous about this match for 3 months. From the day I got this match, I was like, oh my God, what did you do? You idiot. You moron. Paul Passmore, you idiot. And but now those voices, they're not there. I feel like my only hope in this is that I am a worthy opponent for Paul Passmore, because training is time is money, and we want to see some arm wrestling, and that's what I'm hoping to get out of it, is a battle.
Paul, do you see yourself as the favorite in this match?
You know, a mental trick I do. Now the simple answer, the short answer is yes, but what I do mentally going into every match, it's something I started doing back when I used to fight in MMA. I would imagine that I'm fighting King Kong in every super match I get. I imagine that I'm going up against some ungodly monster motherfucker, and you know, and I'm nervous and I'm training. And when I'm sitting there in the gym and I'm tired and I'm like, yeah, I'm about ready to stop, I'll sit there and think, man, I got to face this bastard. And what is he doing? And he's going to kill me. And I'll go work out another 30 minutes, you know, just go nuts. That's my mentality going into every match. And this one's no different, you know, and when I see him in person, finally, I get a burst of confidence, because suddenly they're just a human, you know, there's another man. I'm like, oh my God, he's not 15 foot tall and 750 pounds ripped. You know, I'm like, he's a manageable person. I might could win this. And, you know, it was something I'd even do in high school football. I would pretend, you know, I played linebacker. I would pretend the quarterback had just slapped my mother, you know, when he's saying down, set him, I'm fixing to kill this bastard, you know, and I'd trick myself. And that's just a mental thing I've always done. Now, going into this, yeah, of course, you know, resume versus resume, he's got some great wins. He's a bad dude. And it's probably going to be a nasty match, however it goes. But yeah, I think, you know, if you're going to take any fight, you should believe that you're going to win. If you don't honestly think you're going to win, then why fucking take it, right? If you don't believe you can win, honestly, in your own heart, you're not. You're going to get your ass kicked if you don't believe it. So yeah, I feel like I'm going to win, and you know, I'm sure he does too. To get the honest answer out of him, yeah, I'm sure he believes in his heart he's going to win. He should. You know, if he has any chance of actually doing it, he needs to believe he's going to win. So
well, you know what the hardest part of the prep was? The hardest part of the prep was I was doing all these lifts and all these movements, and then I saw some of your pictures over the last couple of days, and I'm like, how am I going to do this with an erection?
Yeah, I mean, you know, sometimes I look at my pictures and I have the same problem, man. It's crazy. But yeah,
I want,
man, I'll tell you, I changed. So I was 290 a year ago, and I just changed my lifestyle. Honestly, my training stayed about the same. I just kind of started eating better. My caloric intake similar. I just started eating better food and started drinking pretty much water and cutting out all the crap. And uh, I'm in my mid 40s and I feel like I'm 20 years younger. Just a year later, rehabbed a bunch of old nagging injuries. It's amazing when you treat your body right. Finally, how it will respond. Everybody's like, well, how much strength did you lose when you cut all that weight? I'm like, honestly, I want to be completely honest. I feel like I got a little stronger, at least, functionally on the, I quit ego lifting, a few years ago. I found out, when I hit 40, everything I started doing that was extremely heavy would aggravate something or actually injure something. So I started lifting properly, right? Instead, if I wasn't real comfortable with the weight and couldn't execute the movement with good form, I quit doing it. I still go as heavy as I can and push myself, but I'm also training to where I don't hurt things. And that's helped a lot too. But yeah, taking in good food and living healthier and getting more sleep and drinking more water and laying off the liquor. I love some whiskey, so lay off the liquor. And I even got to where I was vaping there for a while for some damn reason. And I quit all that. And, shit, I feel better and my body's healed up. A lot of nagging stuff went away. And, I just feel like a different person. So functionally and in the gym, I'm probably stronger and way healthier and more limber and hell on the table. I get tighter. I'm faster. I'm got more endurance. It seems like just being more limber and being able to get tighter has improved my technique. I think John says he's been doing it 13 years. My match actually at East versus West against Ahmed Mirzaev marked my 10, almost to the day, 10-year anniversary of being in the sport. So we've both been around a minute. We definitely know what we're doing. We both beat a lot of good opponents. I think we have a common, very dominant victory over Jeff Dabe, who is, if anybody's ever grabbed that man left-handed, that's a good victory to own. I promise you. He's a bad dude. He is incredibly freaking strong. A lot of people are like, and one of the reasons I got the match with him is everybody I talked to about, hey, I'm an arm wrestler. That have you ever pulled that dude with those huge hands? And finally, one day I was like, I'm going to make that happen just so I can say, yeah, here it is. Just pull it up on YouTube. So that was pretty cool. But when you grab his hand, it's almost, John can probably attest. It's like grabbing a glass of tea or a beer glass. That's what holding his hand feels like. Yeah, it's insane. Yeah, it really is.
I want to comment on your whole, weight journey down and all, because I kind of just did the same thing. And, I thought I was going to lose, some strength. I was fighting to stay in that 198 class, and to stay in that class, I was eating dirty. And, before this, I was a fitness model. I was always really tight with my nutrition, always wanted to keep a 6-pack and all. But just to stay in that class, it changed everything. And I was always feeling like bloated and my energy levels were lacking. And then recently, I had some kidney stones and had to go through a surgery with that. And I was like, no more, it's time to just get back to my natural way and start getting on my nutrition again. And I'm back down at 176. And now when people see me, they're like, oh my God, you look jacked as hell. And, I'm just back to my normal weight. And I got to say, I feel so much better. So like what you're saying right now, I'm going through the same thing right now. It feels amazing. My energy levels are back. I love hitting the gym again. It's just overall just a better feeling and all. So I'm thinking that's going to be a lot better for you getting on the table as well. But I wanted to ask Israel about this because I know Israel has pulled Uncle John before, so he's got experience. I want to kind of get your thoughts on this match, and who do you think is going to take the W that day?
Oh, their match is left-handed, right?
Yes, it's a left-handed match.
Okay, well, I got to pull Uncle John both arms, and he's very good, very strong both arms, but his left is special. It's strong, very, very strong. And I haven't gotten the pleasure of pulling Paul, but I've seen plenty of him. I've been following him for a long time, so I know his style and how he pulls. I definitely think this is going to be a good match. You know, what level? How much are you weighing right now, Paul?
I'm walking around at 245, so just I got a 2 or 3 pound cut.
Okay,
I'm gonna kind of
wow.
maintain that and have a real easy cut and carb up. I'm a lean, dry 242 also. I mean
Now
245.
let me ask you, what were you at your heaviest when you were your
290.
big strong? 290. Okay.
290. A
Wow.
year ago today, I had a match with Shane Owens last September, October, and I was 290 that day, and he was 300 and something. And I was already wanting to cut the weight, and I maintained that weight to defeat Shane. And it was kind of my get back on the horse right-handed. I had realized my right hand had finally come back after 4 or 5 years on the of the break, and
Yeah.
I wanted to prove it by beating Shane Owens. And everybody was saying, your right arm will never be there again. I beat Shane Owens, and I beat Ahmed, and I've beat a lot of really great. If anything, they're dead even right now. It's just whichever one's healthier at the moment. But my right's definitely back. And then after that match, and I proved I was back, I wanted to get back to 242. Just number one for health reasons, for my family and longevity and just feeling good. And then number two, I wanted to kind of reconquer the 242 class. Back before I went to super heavyweight, I won a AAA national championship with both arms 242 and was top, I think, 5 in the nation 242 back when Gabi was doing the rankings. And nobody even knew who I was. That weight class got zero respect, and it pissed me off. I was like, all right, well, screw it. I'm going supers. And I just jumped
Wow.
in the PAF finals about a month later after I won the 242s, and I put on a bunch of weight and won it. I won the super heavyweights. Then all of a sudden, immediately, I was able to beat I beat Carl Stanley that day, and I beat Sean Latimer that day, and he's a monster. But both arms, won both arms supers. And then all of a sudden, my dreams were realized. Everybody knew who I was, and it took off from there. And now the 242's changed. It's a very, very competitive, well-known class with a lot of great names back in it. And so I wanted to drop down and get back there and get real comfortable at that weight and try to reconquer it. And so here I am.
Well, man, I gotta say that's really interesting, and hearing that you guys are similar in weight is going to make it a good match. Because I gotta tell you, Paul, just looking at you from the waist up, I would think you're just as big as you've ever been, man. I mean, I wouldn't think you lost more than 20 pounds, dude. So
Well,
Uncle John
Israel,
better be.
I want to stop with all the compliments both ways. I want to know who's gonna win, bro. Right now, on the spot, you got to bet the house on it, bro. Who is gonna win?
The heavy favorite is Paul Passmore for sure.
Okay, Matt Hollywood, we got to talk to you, brother. Who do you think is the favorite in this match? Who are you putting your money on?
Yeah, it's Paul Passmore, but I definitely like the fact that Uncle John has seen that mentality and said, like, I'm worried about this match. I'm concerned about this match, because that's the sort of mentality that's going to make you get in the gym every single day and train harder and harder. Because if you're the favorite, maybe you don't push as hard. Maybe you're like, yeah, I'll just crush this dude. I don't have to put it 100% in. But if you're the one chasing and this dude is an absolute killer, it's like, man, I gotta get to that session. I'm thinking about it 24/7. You said you've been thinking about it for the last 3 months, and that's the reason why, because you know how good this guy is, which means that you're going to be turning up giving your the best version of yourself. So it's going to be an absolute war. But yeah, it's going to be fun. I can't wait to see it.
We're going to bring on Ben Crabtree in a minute. He's actually the promoter throwing the event and all, but there was one subject I just wanted to touch on real quick, and that was for Paul Passmore. And you're one of those killers on the table, man. And, you've obviously you've been saying some of the wins that you had, and it's just so impressive, but I feel like you haven't got the shot yet, man. It's, you haven't got out there, and I think it's due to the lack of social media, which you talked about earlier. So, something that might help you out, man, is maybe finding somebody that could help you with that. Maybe somebody that could run your YouTube channel and could help post it up, because you said you were very busy. You got a job, you got family and all. maybe you could find somebody that could help you out just getting out there, bro, because, obviously you got the skills on the table. You just need to get, a little more out there, and somebody posting up, just your training videos, maybe doing occasional interviews with you, maybe every week, maybe every other week. I think that would be a night and day change for you, bro, and would make you stand out a lot more, and you would get all these big promotions hitting you up. And because you've got the skill. Now it's just a time to get out there, bro. You know what I mean? And I kind of helped out a couple of guys at the beginning. I had Jerry Catterett. I brought him back into the sport, and he's one of those guys that just he didn't do it with the social media. Once we started having weekly shows, I started going out to his house and video of him training. I mean, it just changed everything. Next, he's on East versus West. He's going for the #1 spot in the world. It was the big change right there. So that might be something that for you to do. Maybe even, your wife might want to help you out with that. I got my girl, she helps me out with a lot of my editing and all. At the beginning, it was like a full-time job for me, just trying to keep up editing all these videos. And I got to the point where I was just like burnt out. So, now I got her that's kind of helping me out with everything. So it could be something that could, maybe think about in the future and, get yourself out there a little more.
Yeah, Paul, that's great advice. I agree with you completely. Everything you said is 100% spot on. It's something I've actually known for a couple of years I really needed to focus on, and it's just been, I don't know, it's something I just haven't got down to. It's one of those, it's like you got some tools out in your garage and in a go-kart, you know how to fix, and everything's sitting there, and you just need to go do it, and you just haven't gotten around to it. It's collecting dust. That's kind of where I'm at. I just need to damn do it. But you're absolutely right. And maybe getting someone to help would be beneficial. I'm pretty tech savvy. I'm good with everything. I know how to use everything and do it. And I have a decent social media platform on everything already. It wouldn't take much to really skyrocket it. So yes, I agree.
Well, if anybody's in the chat, and anybody wants to help out Paul, maybe contact Paul, hit him up on one of his social media platforms, and maybe you could be the guy to help him out and just making videos and all. Because I'll tell you right now, bro, it is a lot. It's almost like a full-time job. Just doing it all, and we want to keep you training hard in the gym and not falling off at all. So that could kind of mess with that a little. That's why I'm saying possibly get somebody that could help you out. And I mean, you're already a big name in the community. I'm sure there'd be somebody out there that's got some extra time and could just help you post along and all. But I got to keep it moving. I want to get Ben on here real quick. I want to just hear he's got this great event coming up on September 7th, Battlegrounds 4. He's got some great super matches. So Ben, what's up, brother? How are you doing today, my man?
Man, I'm doing great tonight. How about you guys?
Great, man. So can you just run down the list of what we got set up for September 7th and where everybody could check them out?
Yeah. You can always go to Western Kentucky Arm Wrestling. It's always on there. Or you can go to my profile, Ben Crabtree. You can pull it up. I mean, there's just a whole list of stuff. I post pretty much anywhere from 2 to 3 times a week. So you can pretty well keep up with everything that I'm doing. And the description is in the event page. If there's something that I miss, usually people call it out. So it's pretty well done up. I provide the hotel for most of my athletes. I'll pull out the red carpet for them as well. I'll bring in 217, Brad Cook. And, I always try to do it right. They get fog machines. They got a great lighting tech. She's been doing it for 20 years. That's my wife. And, she's my backbone. Without her, none of this would happen, really. She makes all the flyers, and she works a full-time job. She's a super queen, man.
Hell yeah. So can you run down the list? Because I seen some of these matches on here got me real excited, man. I seen that Hunter Knopf is going to be going against Darn Therian. I mean, that one is a banger right there.
Yeah. And then John also faces Kyle Blankenship. He's an up-and-comer. He's kind of the underdog. But, you got to start somewhere, and where else, to pull somebody like John on a big stage. And John was really looking forward to the match with Austin. Austin got hurt. They were going for a #1 ranking. He was actually going to come in at 176 the day before because that's the rules. You got to weigh in, the weight 24 hours beforehand and then try to get back to 185. So
One thing, Ben, it's just your mic is really, really bad, bro. It's like really hard to hear you on here. You know, that's the only thing. So I'm gonna run through these super matches for you right now. We got Hunter Knops going against John Therian. We got John Therian also going against Kyle Blankenship, which Kyle's, like you said, you know, he's an up and coming puller, man. One of the, you know, his trajectory in the last year has just been going through the roof. He just got a real big notable win against Tim Lewis. So I'm really excited to see how that one goes. I think that's going to be a real good one. We know John Therian's definitely the favorite in that, but I wouldn't underestimate this kid, Kyle Blankenship. He is definitely doing big things for real. Also see that you got Tim Lewis going against Clayton Mutz. I don't know
Yeah,
too much about
that's correct.
Clayton, but I'm
They've had
excited.
some wars in the past. I mean, they've had some matches already. I believe Tim has came out on top most of the time, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, very
So
nice.
that's going to be another one where Tim's going to be the gatekeeper, and if Clayton wants it, he's got to bring everything he's possibly got, and he says he's ready. I mean, they're both pretty excited about that match. I'm excited about the fact that Tim just keeps on coming. If he'll lose one, he'll win one. He'll lose one. He's just like you said. He's the man to beat if you want to get known.
Definitely. And then I see this really big one, man, with Matt Mask going against Artem Taranenko, left hand.
Yeah.
This one is going to be an interesting one, man. We know that Artem just, seems to shock everybody. And if he gets this win over Matt Mask, that's just amazing. What's your guys' thoughts on this, man? Who do you think is going to get the win? Uncle John.
If Artem beats Matt Mask, I need to have a match with Artem the same day, right then and there, so I can jump over Matt Mask and Artem. Oh my God. If Artem should not beat Matt Mask, but Artem's a weirdo, right? He's a weirdo. He does stuff that really doesn't make any sense to me. But you gotta you look at the two guys and it's optically very bizarre, right? It's a big giant guy and a little guy who's still jacked. I just hope, or maybe I hope for Artem. I don't know. I think Artem has some things that could trip Matt up, and Matt might just be like, let's have some fun. And then that's where the trouble begins.
I agree with that. Paul, what's your thoughts on this, man? Is Artem in this match at all?
No. It's a joke. It's a joke. He don't stand the snowballs. They don't stand the snowballs chance in hell. I mean, I beat Matt, but he ain't gonna beat Matt. He's gonna get smoked. It's gonna be funny though. It'll be fun to watch.
I respect your honesty, bro. You're very blunt. You get right to the point, and I love that about you, bro.
yeah. But man, Artem, he can get mad or whatever, but yeah, he don't deserve a match with Matt. It's a joke. He's gonna get smoked.
Nice. Ben, where can everybody check out this great event you got going on, man?
All right, so we're not doing a live. That's just so much to deal with. So 217 will be editing everything and putting it out, the next day or two.
Okay, very nice. And so, guys, I'm going to say thank you for coming on tonight, man. I'm looking forward to this big event, Battlegrounds 4. I wish both of you guys, Paul and John, a great match, man. I can't wait to see it. It's going to be a great one. Is there anywhere people could check you guys out?
Yeah, you know what? I'm not really the type of guy you check out. If I want to say something to you, I'll make sure it happens. All right.
I love it. Paul, we know that you're out on the social media platforms, and I'm hoping that you could get somebody to help you out, and this way get you more active. Really encourage you to get on YouTube as well, man. I think that's going to be the key right there. And I personally would love just to see like what you do to prepare for these matches. Like kind of behind the scenes content of you in the gym. I remember you used to put out those videos of just benching insane amount of weight, but I also want to see anything else you do to prepare for these matches. So that might be some idea, just for you to get out there on YouTube.
Yeah, and I'll put it out there. I do have a YouTube channel. It's at Swole51. If you want to subscribe, I think I got 400 or 500 subscribers. I do put out training videos. I'm not consistent as I should be. It's something I'm definitely going to focus on moving forward. I'll make that commitment right now. And
Paul, your most popular video that I've seen is you talking about your arm break. I think if you sort of went about that, told the story of it, maybe had the footage of that, and then told your recovery plan, I think that would be a great video.
And the key with it, Paul, is consistency, brother. You got to get, maybe get out 1-2 videos a week, and that's what gets you in the algorithm. Because when you go blank for a couple of weeks, they kind of just mess you up, and you're not in that algorithm anymore. So that is the main thing, is just staying consistent on there, and it'll help you get out there for sure.
And Paul, shirt off.
I love it.
Round three, we'll both go shirts off if you want.
I'm ready to. Yeah, that's gonna get some views for sure.
Throw some thumbtacks in the thing. If John, if you lose right away, let's throw some thumbtacks up in there. I'm just kidding with you, bro. Ben,
that looked painful, man. That shit looked painful for real.
I am a martyr for the sport.
Ben, where can they find you, brother? And what's your main platform that you work off of?
Yeah, I mean, Ben Crabtree, Instagram is Crabtree Ben 28. Western Wrestling on Facebook. I mean, I'm on.
We're breaking up like crazy, brother. We can't hear you. Sound like a robot right now. So,
Ben Crabtree, I'm sorry, man. I live out in the sticks, guys.
Gotcha. Well, I want to thank you guys for coming on tonight, man. I appreciate it. We'll definitely be checking out your great event on September 7th. Have a great night, fellas.
I appreciate you having me, and bless everybody and safe travels.
Yes, definitely. Paul, I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you very much, brother. And Ben, I appreciate the opportunity as well.
Hey, you're more than welcome, brother.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for coming on tonight, Paul. I look forward to having you on more often as well, bro.
Yeah, please do.
So, now I want to introduce, we got the Knuckles Up guys in the house, Will and Chris. How are you guys doing tonight?
We're doing good. Could be better, but we're doing good.
Well, I don't know if you guys were listening earlier to the show. I put out a challenge out there. I'm putting up $2,500 of my own money along with Jenkins. And, the stipulation I had was that it had to go down at a Knuckles Up event. I'm a big supporter of you guys, and I truly believe you guys are going to just kill it in North America. I love the production you guys put on. I think it's a great representation of arm wrestling, and I respect that you gave us that platform and, to make this match possibly happen.
No, thank you. I do think the Landen and Autumn match is it's one that needs to happen, right? As you had mentioned previously, Ryan Bone with the super chat. This guy, man. It's a match that needs to happen, right? And this is no disrespect to Auden whatsoever, but I think he's at the point where he should want the respect from the arm wrestling community. He should start to take some of those matches. And I don't know if it was Uncle John or somebody had mentioned, though, it's okay to get a loss. It's good, right? It shows that you're taking the matches you should take, and you're climbing that ladder and slowly, making a bigger and bigger name for yourself. So we wouldn't be any more excited or proud to host a match like that at Knuckles Up 5 on January 25th, which is going to be the biggest event the world has ever seen. And that would just make it even bigger. I think it'd be fantastic. So thank you. We appreciate you even thinking of us to put on such a match.
Ryan Bone, we got a $5 super chat, Knuckles Up Crew Legends. We also got another one from Engen's Eyebrows for $5. He says, "You are all banned. You are all enemies of the sport. I will ruin Knuckles Up with my massive eyebrows. They will regret being the best production ever." Whoever that is, that's a funny one for real.
You got to
Ryan
that
Grondin.
That's hilarious.
Got to be Ryan Grondin.
Oh my God, that's fantastic.
So, Will, what's been going on, man? Right before the show, I know you guys hit me up and you said there was something you want to talk about on the show.
Yeah, so, first, we want to say thank you, obviously, Paul, for just obviously always supporting us. And it really means the world, that you, Matt, all you guys are always in our corner and are appreciating all the hard work that we do. But unfortunately, there are people in the arm wrestling world, will say, I don't really think they're part of the community that we're a part of, that don't want to see certain things happen. And today is unfortunately a very sad day for arm wrestling, and an even sadder day for women's arm wrestling, which we take very seriously here at Knuckles Up. Our match between Ayane and Ursula officially and sadly had to be canceled, and it was canceled due to things beyond our control. And unfortunately, it is an issue with WAF that we have tried to work with many times in the past, and they've done this exact same thing before, which we've talked about on our first card, canceling, Gabby's match. It's just very sad that, the sport is getting to a place where the people who are affected most negatively are the athletes themselves and the fans at home that want to see these matches. The athletes want to make a living for themselves and make a name for themselves. But yes, so officially the Ayane and Ursula match, which a lot of people were very excited for, has been canceled. And it's too close for us. We've already lost, I don't even want to say the amount of money in marketing, in jerseys, and hotels and flights and all that type of stuff, getting that planned. And it's not about the money in reality, but it's just about the fact that, you try to do something good for the sport. And it just, these things happen. So sadly, that match will not be happening.
That is just ridiculous. And what I'm hearing on the back channels was that Ayana was threatened by Engen, saying that if she competed under Knuckles Up event, that she might not be welcome back to East versus West. And
so I can't confirm or deny, just because I don't have any physical proof whether it was specifically Engen. I will say that the other organization, obviously other than WAF, did send us a direct message and basically just laid it out that it can't happen. Whether or not Engen was the root cause or not, I'm genuinely not sure. I would assume, but unfortunately, more importantly, it's just like the saddest thing for this community and for women's arm wrestling is like, why are you taking away an opportunity for two young athletes as well, who are just trying to make a name for themselves? They both just competed at WAF and did, as good as they could. And they were so excited about the match, and, both would be coming over to the U.S. the first time for, I think, both of them coming to New York. So it was going to be this great thing. And, the thing we pride ourselves on most, which you guys all know, and Chris, has said it many times as well, is we want to make good matches, right? And I'm going to, Paul, if you don't mind, pay the politics for 2 seconds. Once again, Knuckles Up in the High Five does not fall under any federation or jurisdiction. We do not follow anyone's other rule set other than the High Five rule set. We are strictly here to put on amazing matches and putting on amazing promotions for the entire arm wrestling community and to create opportunities for these athletes. And that's right. What do we say? We're arm wrestling for the people, by the people. And it's true. It's really disheartening when stuff like this happens, because put the money aside, the hours and hours and days and weeks and months of planning and preparation for all this to seem to always happen a little over 2 weeks before an event. It's really, excuse me, it's really sad. So we're just going to keep trucking on. September 14th, Knuckles Up 4 is still going to be an incredible event. We're sorry to the people who've already purchased the pay-per-view, that you won't be able to see that match. The other 7 matches are going to be incredible. But yeah, Paul, that's where we're at. It is sad though. It's sad that this, stuff is happening.
It's just getting me so mad because, I'm hearing this story so many times, even with my interviews, people getting threatened if they come on my channel, that they might not be invited anymore. I just, had something recently come up, and it's constantly, I'm hearing Engen in the background, and I'm going to just straight up say it. It's Engen. I know it. I've heard so many different people getting this treatment, and this man is betraying. He's here for the sport, but his actions are not, aligning with that. It's looking like it's like a power move, and it's a sad thing. We could all work together. We don't, we don't have to go and sabotage other people's events. And this has happened before with a few of your athletes, and it's always done within like a couple of weeks of out from the event. where they're getting, threatened, and now they can't compete there. And it's
it's
like,
sad.
where is this going to go?
And because it was a previous, and this was obviously that was of one, just like, just so people understand the severity, on our first card, this was dropped on us. I think it was 11 days before the match. And I think we lost out on, Chris, what was it in total, like $7,000, something like that, right?
Yeah, it became a situation where we were trying to be like, sorry to cut you off, Will. I was just gonna say it sucks because we try to be as accommodating as possible to WAF. The reason why it was such a large amount was we were actually flying Felicia to New York, but then we were actually going to fly her to Kazakhstan immediately after her match, so she could support her son that was competing at WAF. So it was very ironic that we were being accused of, having this athlete come over and possibly get banned when we were actually trying to support them, indirectly. And that's really the reason why the match ended up having to be canceled, because we're being told that these athletes will be negatively impacted as well as possibly getting banned competing at obviously WAF is a huge tournament with some of the top athletes. So we don't want to eliminate that opportunity for them in the future, right? We want to help grow their brands, just like you guys are talking about with Landen, not prevent them from growing even further.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's just and to because I mean, this is already out in like the ether and in the community, right? It is because, like I said, we're trying to create this opportunity for, like, it is a blanket statement, right? Like, we're bringing the Arnold back. You win at the Arnold, you get on our pay-per-view, right? We want to bring more and more names, the up-and-comers, the people from around the world. Like, I don't care what anybody says. We were the first people to start celebrating these athletes from Korea, the first starting to celebrate these athletes from Japan. And then all of a sudden, other promotions started bringing people from all the way from Asia and all this stuff. It's like, okay, that's fantastic. It worked. Our model worked. Now they're starting to get it, right? We've been talking with Ryan, right? We want to bring people from, and Matt, congratulations, by the way, on the Pro Panja thing. That's absolutely incredible.
Hold on 1 second. I gotta answer to this from Roy. He says, Paul, you shouldn't blame Engen in this case unless you have 100% definitive proof. Otherwise, you are spreading fake news. I actually have 100% proof with a lot of the things that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about this particular incident because this was just brought to me right before I went on my show. But there's people that are in the room right now in the chat that are commenting on there that have been threatened directly, and I don't want to throw them under the bus because if they want to stand up and say for themselves. But this has happened multiple times, Roy. This is not me guessing. Anything I say, I'm 100% sure with. There's a lot of people that have contacted me and told me straight up that they would threaten if they came on my channel, that they wouldn't be invited to East versus West. So this is not me making up anything, Roy. This is 100% right there. And a couple of the people are actually in here and they're commenting, because they know, because they've had the same thing done to them. So I just wanted to address that. And I also want to say the $5 Ryan Bowen super chat, politics like this is poison. So sad.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to cut you off, Will.
No, you're good. You're good. I was just saying, well, first, just Matt and Ryan, congratulations on the Pro Panja thing. That's absolutely awesome. But that's our next move. We'd love to start highlighting more people from India. We're working on some people from the Philippines, from all over the world, right? So what this comes down to is like existing politics in the sport, right? We have 3 incredible athletes coming from Bulgaria. That in Svetan Gashevsky, Jordan Sanev, and Plemen Dimitrov, right? Incredible athletes, right? Now, obviously, they're banned by WAF. Okay, that's fine. But we're not a WAF event, and we're not an IFA event. We're a knuckles up promotion. So why does it matter that we have 2 WAF athletes, Ursula and Ayane, pulling against each other? It's completely separate, right? So it's just very sad because like we really wanted to make this awesome opportunity for these female athletes. We had a very long discussion with Ursula. She's an absolute incredible athlete. She's a sweetheart. She took it really well, but she was clearly bummed, right? She wanted her dad to be there. Her boyfriend was going to fly down to New York. And Ayane was going to come over with Toshi. Many people don't know, but Chris's wife is from Japan, and she's an incredible translator. So we can even cater to them better than most people can, right? And we bring translators, all this kind of stuff. But my point is just we're gonna keep trucking forward, and we're gonna keep trying to put on these incredible matches. Knuckles Up 5 is going to be even bigger. We're planning on having 3 to 4 women's super matches for that card. But it's just sad, man. Like, I've seen these comments from Sarah in the chat and from all these incredible women where they get so few opportunities already as it is, and they shouldn't be taken away from these. I mean, these opportunities shouldn't be taken away from anyone in general. And like you said, Paul, the saddest part about this whole thing, we love arm wrestling, right? I still watch every East versus West pay-per-view. I still watch every King of the Table. We watch all of them. We're still planning on watching on the 7th the new Global Elite Arm Wrestling up in Canada, the Arm Gods. Every single promotion, AWE, whatever it is, we watch it because we're fans of arm wrestling, right? Why is it that we can't like just work together and give these athletes more opportunities?
And I really encourage a lot of people that have experienced this. We got to stop being quiet. I'm one of those that I'm not going to be, I don't care. I'm not controlled by no money. There's no person that's going to tell me what I can and what I can't do. And that's why I came out and said it. But we all got to band together. And when this happens to you, you got to have the balls just to come out and say it in the public. You know what I mean? Don't be scared of it. Just let it be known that this is going down. Because if we just keep allowing this to go down, this is how a dictatorship starts. And this is just ridiculous. I've been promoter all these years and all, and I just don't get why anybody would want to mess up another person's promotion. It makes no sense. We all have our own room in the sport. You don't have to control everything. You don't got to go and make threats. If you associate with this person, then you can't be on this card or whatever. That is just, we're here to grow arm wrestling. You know what I mean? It's not even a money thing right now. We're not even at that point where anybody's making money off of this, that it makes sense to go to war with each other. You know what I mean? Who cares if they're pulling on a Knuckles Up event? The only thing that's showing is that you got like a Napoleon complex that you just want to control everything, and I'm getting really sick of it. It's disgusting. And this is, the put yourself out there and saying, I'm doing everything for arm wrestling and just to grow the sport. And then we see these actions, I second guess that. It looks like you're just on a power trip in my eyes, so.
It's absolutely crazy. But like we said, Paul, we couldn't appreciate all your support. All you guys as well. It means the world to us because it gets tough, right? Like we're just a couple weeks out and we're so excited to see all you guys and the whole 98% crew and just everybody, just the whole East Coast that's coming out. It means the world to us, right? It shows that what we're doing means something, and that like all the late nights of Chris and I being up and trying to get funding and scheduling and hotels and all this type of stuff and making it all happen, right, is worth it. Because at the end of the day, right, we're fans of the sport, right? We want this to be successful and be able to keep doing not just Knuckles Up 5, but all the way to Knuckles Up 10, 20, and 50, But yeah, so that was the unfortunate news. On a happier note, I would love to see that match with Auden, right, and Landen. I think that would be killer. I'm just saying, I don't think Auden's got a shot, but that's just me. I'm the promoter. I shouldn't say those types of things, but I don't know. We'll have to see.
So I wanted to, what is this comment about? I don't get you, brother. Is that, why would you put up something like that? We're being whiny bitches. These guys just spent $7,000, to make this happen and accommodate everybody. And then they get a match taken from them. So, it's just not right, and we're putting spotlight on it. People just want us to be silent and just take it like that. No, that's not going to happen. You know what I mean? We got to stand up to this. This does not belong in arm wrestling. We're supposed to be a family, a community that helps each other grow and spotlight our sport that, most people, 99% of the population thinks it's a hobby that, just goes down in bars. We're trying to do big things here. These guys are putting mega money into it. If you guys ever went to a Knuckles Up event, you'd see the production they're putting on. They literally come in with 20, 30 camera people, whole crew, staff, holding at the Barrymore Film Center. This is like next level stuff. I'm bringing a bunch of non-arm wrestlers, all my friends, just to witness this because I know once they see this, they're going to be so impressed, and they're going to go and tell everybody else about it. And it's about growing their sport. You know what I mean? It's not about just being on some power hungry and you be the only promotion out there. That's a sad day when it comes down to that, you know. And I really want people to start voicing their opinions. You know, if they get threatened by somebody, let it be known. Don't go and just keep it quiet and sweep it under the rug and hopefully things are going to change. It's not. The more power these people get, the worse it's going to get. You know what I mean? And when we first got into this, you know, the whole thing with the backlash against Igor was that, you know, he wouldn't let his contracted pullers pull anybody else. And, you know, we're supposed to get away from that with East versus West and all. And now I'm just seeing they're doing the same thing that Igor did. It is no different. You know what I mean? And it's ridiculous. And we saw what happened back then when we just have these leagues with just their athletes were only allowed to go against their athletes, and we didn't know who was the best in the world. And it's kind of starting to happen again. And we need to say something about that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. But not to sound, you know, soft or anyway, but we're just going to keep trucking, Paul. You know, that's how we are. We're going to move forward. We're going to, you know, find some even greater matches to put on for everybody. And thank you guys for, you know, allowing us and giving us a platform to show unfortunate things that we're going through. But thankfully that you guys always pull together and help us keep pushing forward, right? Like my little quick sales pitch, go to thehigh5aw.com and get your pay-per-view and in-person tickets. Because if you're not going to be there, you're not going to hang out with Paul with the 98. I heard Matt is coming. I'm just saying. I've said it every single time on here. He's flying from – I heard he's coming. I don't know.
we have a question from Roy. He says, I have a question. Is Knuckles Up never going to do contracts? Because I don't see a promotion grow to an elite level without doing contracts.
Yeah, Chris, do you want to explain how we've thought about it?
Yeah, so that's actually something we've kind of talked about in the background. We're working on having essentially the head of our legal department put something together. But the main premise behind it is if we ever do kind of finalize this and put it out, it would be mainly just so the athlete can be guaranteed a certain amount of matches and understand essentially where like home is, but we would never limit where they could go. Because to your point, Paul, it would also limit the amount of exposure that athlete could get. You know, we would love to see them go on a Knuckles Up card, be a headliner, then go East versus West, king of the table. And be known as the Knuckles Up athlete going over there. And then boom, they come back a few cards later or what have you, having just so much more exposure. So, you know, we want to make sure they can make money and have this as like a full-time career for them.
And for you guys in the chat, and guys, you guys hear my show every week. We shouting out these East versus West matches, these King of Table matches. You know, we've never been against anything like that. You know, we're always just promoting the sport. You know, if there's a good match, I'm going to talk about it. You know, there's nothing for me to gain from that. It's just I love the sport, and that's what I'm here for. There's no politics here. You know what I mean? I'm going to help any organization that's doing their thing and getting eyes on our sport. That's what I'm about. You know, it's just really disheartening, and it just really makes me furious when people are portraying like they're doing the right thing for the sport, but in the back channels, they're making threats to people and telling them you can't go to this promotion. You can't even go to an event. You know what I mean? It's like if you associate with somebody, you could be banned. And that, in my eyes, is just the worst thing for a growing sport. You know, it's defeating everything that we're doing. You know, and I'm going to continue to keep buying everybody's pay-per-views. I'm going to continue to talk about their matches and all. You know, I might not spotlight the actual promoters behind it because I don't agree with their ways, but you know, I'm here for arm wrestling, and that's it. End of the day, and we all should be. This is a big community, and we should all work together. We don't all got to be friends, but we should help each other grow because it helps us all.
Yeah. Yeah, it is crazy. And the chat, first of all, your chat's awesome, Paul. There's like some of the nicest people ever. Yeah, it is. I mean, you know, once again, because it was on a previous card, I don't mind speaking as much about it, but that was one of the other things. We were still going to fly because we had already bought the tickets. We said, you know what, Gabby, why don't you just come as a guest, you and your husband? And they told her that even if she just came to the event, and sat there and watched that she would be negatively affected, which is just like, what? Like crazy, like absolutely nuts.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of that. I don't want to just start, throwing out names and all, but I've heard that quite a few times. And
Yeah.
that's that back to Roy's comment. Like, bro, I hear everything. Everybody comes to me and lets me know what's going on in the background. And that's why I'm trying to encourage everybody now to come out in public and say it. I don't want to, I can't go and say their names because I respect that these people trust me and that they confide in me and they tell me this stuff. But this is all 100% happening, guys. And, it's kind of scary and it's got to stop.
The grapevine speaks fast, Paul. All I'll say is that.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
Well, the good thing is, Will and Chris, that you guys have a absolutely amazing production and your growth is just going to keep going like crazy. And, eventually Engin's going to be faced with legitimate and even overpowering competition. So things are going to have to change. So just keep trucking along and you guys are doing great. And I know that it's going to, eventually get to a point where we hopefully won't have these problems.
Yeah. That's
Thanks, brother.
Thank you. Appreciate it. That's the goal, right? Speaking of grapevine, all I'm going to say is Matt might be coming. But I heard there might even be some other Australian-esque people coming. So you should just all show up to the Barrymore Film Center September 14th. The5w.com.
Oh yeah, and guys, if you want to come in person, use the code Paul Italia, all capital letters. You get 10% off. Also, I've been posting nonstop the pay-per-view link. It'll also get you 10% going. You guys, we got to get behind these guys, man. I'm telling you, I haven't missed one event. I am so impressed. Each one, it gets better and better. When you think it just can't, it does. I've heard from all the athletes personally. Everybody says if you have an opportunity to get on one of these cards, do not pass it up because they literally roll out the red carpet. I will be there. I'm going to be going to the press conference the night before. I'm going to kind of give the behind the scenes so you guys could see everything going on. And, I'm just so impressed with these guys. And I just really encourage everybody. This is how you can help them grow is, purchase that pay-per-view. Even better yet, come hang out with us, have a fun weekend and all. We're all making the trip. People are coming from all over the world and all. It's just a great thing. And you're helping arm wrestling grow and just, giving a great platform. And I encourage everybody, this is the new thing that I've been really pushing. If you do come in person, bring one or two of your friends, treat them, non-arm wrestlers. I'm saying this is the show you want to show them, because a lot of times they come to these tournaments or whatever, and it's not that exciting for them. They don't really know what's going on. This is one of them that they put on a real show. This is something that you're going to be proud to bring non-arm wrestlers, and those non-arm wrestlers are going to leave there and they're going to look at arm wrestling in a whole nother view now, and they're going to go and preach to all their friends. Will, what are you doing over there?
Don't worry, the air conditioning in ours will be working.
Oh, nice. There you go. And we got another super chat from Ryan Bowen for $5. He goes, side pressure is back. Shark in trouble. Oh, man, I can't wait to see this. Ryan Bowen versus the Shark. That's going to be a great match. I don't know how it's going to go. I know the Shark is looking insane, but I also know Ryan is really, his lifts are getting stronger. He's on a whole new nutrition plan. Dude's eating like in massive amounts of meat every day. He's on some crazy carnivore diet, and it's really showing. So I can't wait to see that one. Another one that I'm really excited about is the Marcio Barboza going against Jordan Sonoff. Oh my God, that one has got potential, some serious fireworks.
God.
So definitely, guys, check it all out. Get over to Eventbrite, get your tickets and all. It's going to be a banger. I want to thank everybody for coming on tonight. Really, it was a great show. We got a lot done. I hope that we could get an answer back from Auden. I hope that the $5,000, the big stage, will be enticing enough, kind of show everybody that where you lie in the food chain. Obviously, Landen Anderson, he's the real deal, 19 years old. They say that he is the best teen in North America. Well, Auden, this is a big challenge for you, bro. Let's see who the best 19-year-old is in North America. And, let's have a great time. Let's do it up at the Knuckles Up event. Thank you guys for coming on. Tune in next week. We got Arm Wrestling Buzz, same time and all. And then also, guys, I also have another podcast that's going to be starting. We're hoping to get it launched this Sunday. Me and Ryan Grondin are teaming up with this. This is a non-arm wrestling podcast. We're going to just be hitting all kinds of different guests. It's going to be a crazy one. It's called Unfiltered Vibes. I'll start posting away once we have everything locked in. It's going to be on Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time, 6 p.m. Pacific. So definitely keep your ears out for this one. It's going to be a fun one, guys. Thank you again. Appreciate everybody. I want to see the gun show before we call it a night. Matt, don't hurt nobody over there. Hell yeah. Will is looking thick, bro. Oh my God. There you go. All right, fellas.
I can look the look, but I can't walk the walk.
And thanks for everybody in the chat. I really appreciate all the support, all you guys with the great comments and tuning in. Thank you. I really appreciate it a lot. Later, everybody.
Peace.